These QSI buttons only pertain to people who own our previous versions of ValveStar and FireFlow Pro that use the QSI handheld computers. If you're on the newer Hurco FireFlow Pro and ValveStar systems which utilize a DAP computer, these are not even highlighted. So these are functions that are specific to the QSI system only. If you're using your IMS software with Hurco's FireFlow Pro or ValveStar utilizing the QSI handset, there are a couple functions that need to be performed to ensure that you're collecting and sending data properly. When you first get into IMS, you're going to want to go to your Utilities menu, and you're going to want to go to QSI, either FireFlow Directory Export or Valve Exercise Directory Export. Both function the same way. Basically what we're doing is anytime we go in and change the attributes for a device, we change the manufacturers, we add a new deficiency, whatever that might be, we need to match what's in IMS to what's on the QSI handset. And so let's say, for example, that I made some changes to fire hydrants. I added a new deficiency, I added a new manufacturer, so I need to make sure that that directory is the same. I would double click on this, and it'll say, am I sure I want to do that? I would plug my handset in, I would say OK. In this window, I would go down to my computer, and I would find the local drive that the QSI handset is plugged into, double click on it, and it will automatically update the handset to match what's in QSI. So you would do the same for both FireFlow and Valve Exercising. Now you only need to do that once unless you make changes. Anytime you make changes to any of the attributes for a fire hydrant or a valve, you must come in and do this first. These two buttons down here are for imports. So let's say you're in the field and you use the QSI to create a new valve in the field. You didn't create it in IMS. In order for you to be able to import any test data, you have to bring that valve in first, because IMS won't know what to do with the test data if there isn't a new valve or a hydrant. So by clicking on these, you're going to import any new valves or hydrants you made in the field, and then you can create the work order to go with the test you did, so that when you import the data, it has some place to go in IMS. Now let's go to a work order, and I'm going to go to a FireFlow work order. For example, FireFlow and Valve Exercising work the same. I'm going to double click on this. Over on the left you can see this export and import button for QSI. Again, if you were on the most recent version of FireFlow Pro and ValveStar, these buttons wouldn't even appear because we use a syncing process to bring data in. But because you're using the handset, we do have to click on these buttons in order to use the QSI handset. So after we've finished a work order, we've saved it, we've printed our walking order, we would simply go over and click on QSI Export. It's going to tell us to plug in our handset. Again, we click OK. Go to your My Computer, and the handset, when plugged in, should have a little star icon beside it. Double click and save, and your export is complete. At the end of the day, when you're done, again, you plug your handset in, you click on Import, be sure your handset's connected. Click OK. Go to your My Computer. Look for the removable disk with the star icon. Double click. Go to your FireFlow Pro folder if you're doing a FireFlow work order. Otherwise, you would go to your ValveStar folder if you're doing an exercise work order. We did a FireFlow, so I'm going to double click. I'm going to go into the Import Export Files, double click. I'm going to go into FireFlow Results, double click. Import's complete. And then all you have to do is click on Edit Results. You'll see the data there. If you're satisfied that the data is correct, you save it and create your reports. So that's the use of QSI for IMS.